Good evening, ghosties and ghouls, witches and wizards, and welcome back to Rux Nox's 13 Games of Halloween! And your hosts for tonight, well, you must welcome back Nox. Yo guys, I'm back. Yep, I'm back, and I hope you enjoyed Lux's first and so far only video of League of Legends Doom Bots of Doom. Anyway, for tonight, I have something a little different. Something that's not really quote-unquote gameplay, but it's more a build, yeah. So I decided that I would do a Sims 4 build of something spooky, something creepy, something a little gross to some people, especially gross to me. Super gross to me. I don't want to see it ever again. But yeah, this is my second time. This is the second time I've recorded this thing, because the first time I did it, like, the video didn't record. The same thing that happened with my LP earlier. So this is the second time I did it. It was like 6 hours total between the two of them, so 3 hours for each build. And they were similar. They were similar, not identical, but similar. But yeah, let's take a look at my spoopy build. And so I decided that I would go into Newcrest and use the biggest lot that I could, because I wanted to make it grand. I wanted to make it something big. I know I could have built in Windenburg, use the biggest lot that I could, but I wanted to make it something that most people could get, even though I did use a lot of packs. But like, even if you download it, you might not have like some of the things that are inside, but you will have most of the stuff that comes with the thing that I built. And you won't get the tree though. You'll see soon. Anyway, I decided that I would use the roofing, like the legs, and it was hard to figure out at first. Like, I did this quite a few times. I was just like going through it. I did it angled like the first time that I tried it. Then I did it like half of them angled, half of them straight. And this whole build is on a diagonal, so just be aware of that. It's really tricky. Like, it was super tricky to get the roofs right. Like, some of the ones that are straight, like actually straight and not on a diagonal, are thinner than the ones that are on a diagonal, because that's just how diagonals work in this game. Like, the windows, doors, anything that's like diagonally placed is just for some reason bigger. Doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I'm sure it probably makes sense in the realm of physics, but I didn't take physics, so let's not go there. So I figured that, I would use one of the legs actually like in line with the grid, and the rest of them would be on the diagonal. And to me, it looked fine. But I don't know. It was tricky, because before I had like the body a little smaller, and so I had to make the leg in the back a little straight, and it didn't look right at all. So I made it on the diagonal. It looks fine. I mean, I was trying to emulate an actual spider, not one of those cartoony spiders that has like the big body and just like the body, like the round ball, like it's a ball with legs. Like, I didn't want to make a cartoon spider at all. I wanted to make a real, not exactly realistic, but semi-realistic looking spider. Like, I wanted it to be creepy. I wanted it to freak me out. I wouldn't even want to look at it, because I hate, like I said this before in other videos, I do not like insects. I do not like spiders. Anything that creeps and crawls is just a big no in my book. And so I don't want anything to have to do with that. And so I decided that I would try to make this as black as I possibly could. So I outlined everything, like all the different ceiling pieces. I keep saying ceiling, roof pieces with black. And unfortunately, you aren't able to color the ceiling. There we go. Finally, a proper use of ceiling. You aren't able to color ceilings. So all of the ceilings in this are white, which still makes me unhappy. So yeah, I decided to, I don't even know what this piece of the spider is called, but I didn't want to look it up, because I do not want to have to look at spiders. But I decided that I would make it pretty big, like a lot bigger than the actual, like the front part of the spider, which I think that's true to how spiders actually are. So I tried to make it look as close as I possibly could. And then I added the stairs right to the front. It was a little tricky. Like, at first I was just like, okay, I want to break this off. I want to like open this up so I could add the stairs to like a piece that's just hanging off the front. But that wasn't working out. I was getting so mad. I was just like, built a roof, and I couldn't get rid of the roof because the roof attached to the rest of the roof, because as you know, like the rounded roof pieces that I have there as the eyes, they just count as roof. They don't count as any kind of walls or anything like that. So I couldn't actually remove the roof that I added by building a room underneath it. So that was really frustrating, and I ended up just placing the stairs on the diagonals and just dealing with it. Like I wanted, like I don't know, I did the best that I could with it. Like that I took what I had and I made it into something that actually kind of sort of works. It looks like spider fangs, to me at least. I don't know about you. It doesn't look like spider fangs there because I added a wall there. But I said I would push that front wall further back so that it wouldn't look so much, I don't know, like interfering with the fangs. I wanted the fangs to stand out just like the rest of the spider. And so I did that and added 2 doors. The 2 doors so that it could also look like, I don't know, maybe part of the fangs. Like the fangs are kind of like crooked and hanging out. But anyway, there were these walls on the inside that were really interfering. I was just like, not having it. So I decided that I would just block those off. But yeah, I realized that I was missing something on the outside. And so I made this part here to finish off the roundness of the spider. And I really, really, really wish that there were like round rooms. But I feel like this Sims game is very limited and there's just not enough roundness in the game at all for us to work with. So I just went with the octagonal, is it? I didn't even count how many walls it has. But yeah, this was my first try at actually creating restrooms. I placed all the lights down first because I like to have it bright before I start building. I want to see what I'm working with. And so I decided to make this part like so I could split it off into different restrooms, but it wasn't really working out the way that I wanted to. Like it looked like the restrooms would take just way too much space, and I didn't want it to take that much room because I wanted to add a lot of stuff. I wanted to add like a graveyard and obviously like a dance floor and DJ booth and a bar, and obviously this nightclub venue needs like dining tables for some reason, even though it's not really a restaurant. Questionable, but anyway. So I had to make that a lot smaller. So I was just like, okay, I give up on that now. And then I decided to work on, I don't know what you want to call these, chilling rooms. Like you just hang out. I don't know. It's like the room that you go to when you're done like clubbing and having fun. And oh, now you're looking at me failing at remembering cheats. But yeah, this is the room where you go to like, you know, when you're tired already and you just like, I'm just gonna chill, check my phone, whatever. It's that room. So this is like, you know, where the after party place, the not so fun after party, the private after party. I don't know. You call it what you want. So yeah, I decided to place these spiders there because it looks creepy. Spiders inside of spiders is also making me rethink that. But oh well, it's already all done. So whatever. But anyway, these candles, oh my gosh, they were a godsend because I could not figure out what kinds of lights to use there. Like all the desk lights or the table lamps, they all look really odd, like not creepy enough. But like the black candles are so versatile that they worked for that purpose. And so the thing that I was a little bit upset about was that there's not much spooky wallpaper. Like Spooky Stuff Pack came with, let's see, it came with the one I used. It came with 2 ghost ones, which was a little weird since I don't know who uses that many ghost wallpapers. I guess I did in this build. But like, I don't know. I feel like there could have been more spookier wallpapers. Like instead of just the wood and that, I don't know, medieval, Victorian, whatever you want to call it. It's probably Victorian, not medieval. The Victorian looking one. But I said I would use that because it gave a sort of romantic aura to the I want to keep calling them waiting rooms. I don't know why. They're not waiting rooms. No, they're hangout rooms. They're just hangout lounge. Let's call it a lounge. So they give a sort of romantic vibe to the lounge. But yeah, here I am just lining out the roofs and the building. Like I said, I want to make sure everything was black. Everything was just full of darkness. But unfortunately, there was one spot like right next to the stairs that just would not go. So I had to give up on that. And I just went right back to working on the restrooms when I once again made them way too big. So I was just like really, really trying. But anyway, another thing that annoyed me about this build, oh my gosh, because building on a diagonal, because I chose to build on a diagonal, I had to build so many diagonal walls inside just to close off rooms. So like I couldn't have the bathroom without adding diagonal walls the room would still be like slightly open if I just left it like without building that diagonal wall. So that was frustrating. But anyway, I decided that I was trying so hard to get stalls in, but then I was like, oh, wait a second. I don't have move objects on. But I ignored that, and I kind of wish, you know what? If you do want to add more bathrooms, go for it. I left so much room, so just do it. And I probably will do that too, because I wanted to add more restrooms, but I was just like, I totally forgot that move objects was a thing. But that's the thing that I will add later. And it looks like I was trying to look up like how to do this, because I was so confused. Like, where does this go? What do I do with this? So it just took a little while for me to get there. But yeah, then it was so, like, the bathrooms were just such a challenge. I don't know why they were so challenging for me. I feel like bathrooms are usually the first things that I build, so they shouldn't even be that challenging. But anyway, I decided to build the other one, mirroring this one. And then I was just like, wait a second. These bathrooms are just unisex, which is fine. You know, I have nothing against having unisex bathrooms, but at this point, because it's a nightclub, I wanted to be sure there was one for everyone, so that, you know, it's a little even, since it's only going to be one bathroom. So I feel like that was maybe a mistake. You could change the doors if you want. I don't know. Will I change the doors? I want to leave them like it is. I still feel like that's a fair choice, but I don't know. I just made them so small. And like I had to cramp everything, but it does work. I tested it out, and the bathrooms do work like that. But the thing that I love about the bathrooms, even though, you know, the diagonal wall, I just complained about it. The thing that I love is putting the sink on the diagonal wall. I don't know why, but it feels nice. But anyway, then I was like tasked with having this like extra wide hallway just outside the bathroom. So I was just like, do I light it up? So I started lighting it up, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But I'll delete all those lanterns soon. I was just trying to figure out exactly what else to put in the bathroom, because the bathrooms were super dark. So dark that I was just like, you know, if you're gonna sit on a dirty toilet seat, you probably will. You won't even notice, because it's just gonna be so dark in there. And I made it even darker by using that creepy dark wooden wallpaper. So there I go, deleting all the lanterns. I was just like, nope, not having it. Too dark. Sorry, too bright. And I decided that I would just put a very bright light in the bathroom. And I actually went back in live mode and edited those. Adjusted those so that they would be a lot darker, like almost really, really dark. But anyway, then I went on and I went right back outside, and I decided that I would add red eyes to the spider. Now, I know that might not be exactly true to actual spider anatomy, but I figured that it would be a little creepy. So I was trying to figure out which light did I want to use. Like, there were so many options here. I was just like, did I want to make it like a round eyes, or did I want to make it a little, like, I tried to place it inside, but of course, you know, it's roof. You can't place it inside. So I just placed it like right in the windows. And then I went right back in and started using these lights on the inside of the hallway, because it wasn't, part of me still is like really confused about what to do with this hallway. So I just placed these lights, and I was just like, okay, so I'm going to give it like this striped look. I'm going to give it a stripy look. I'm going to alternate between colors, which I didn't do here. I was just like, okay, let me just place orange down everywhere. And then I was like, okay, wait, I need to go back and find the black. I used the same, I first tried to use the wood, and I was just like, you can't really see the texture on the spooky wooden wallpaper unless you're like really zoomed into it or something. So I decided I would just go and use the plain black that came with Spa Day, I think it was. So I added the orange bar because, you know, Halloween is orange, and I wanted to keep with the orange and black theme. I didn't make everything orange and black, as you saw. Obviously, I made the lounge red, and, well, I haven't added the flooring yet, so I made it red and white black. But anyway, I decided to move this wall in because it was taking way too much space. That hallway was just taking way too much space, so I wanted to kind of enclose it. And so I made another little sitting area, the kind of area where, you know, you don't want to sit, because clearly you're right next to the spiders. And I am not sitting there. I would not sit there. You could not pay me enough to sit there. I would freak out, and I would probably be crying. I kid you not, I would be crying. But, you know, I tried to light it up as brightly as possible to make it less creepy. But eventually I changed the color of those seats. I figured, like, those seats were probably the best choice because they were dark and creepy enough. But there's not really that much creepy looking seating. But anyway, here I was trying to find the perfect archway, and I was just like, it's on a diagonal, nothing's gonna work. So I decided to try to two, and then I realized this black archway just takes one space. So then I put that down and lit it up, and unfortunately the lighting is still really, really bright. But I did, like I said, I went back in live mode and changed all of that. So I decided to add the carpets here and like the rugs here. And I was still like, need something more. I get to like, I don't know why. This is how I build. I built always like the wallpapers first, and the flooring's the very last thing I did. Or the last thing I always do. So I'll do that later. And here I decided I would put the DJ booth and I would put TVs behind it. I don't know if the TVs are actually going to work, because I kept pulling the DJ booth up further. I don't know if it has to be like in some sort of proximity. I feel like it just has to be in the same room, but I'm not sure if that's true. But the TVs are there and you can move the DJ booth back if you want. But what I wanted to do, like this is like the first thing. This is what made me want to do this. I wanted to create this area here. Like what I'm building right now is the area where you can display the jack-o'-lanterns that you build. So that's just like, I left a few spots there open so that you can just plop down whichever jack-o'-lanterns it is that you want. So, go for it. Build, make, or craft, cut, carve to your heart's content. Man, it always takes me a little while to get the right words. Anyway, there you go. Just putting them down. I do not leave them there, but I did put down 8 carving stations. This is really important because I did that so that you can take your clubs to the nightclub and carve pumpkins. Yep. I made it so that you can actually make that as a club activity. So there will be soon a little spooky room for your carving activities. And I try to put the bar right at the front because, again, the hallway was just always bothering me, still bothering me. And unfortunately, it seemed not proper to have the bar where the bathroom is. So here we go again with adding this long room right to that same side. I was just like, no, it's not working. It's still just really weird. So I was starting to line them up against the wall, and I was just like, no, that still makes it really long room. So then I figured that I would make it 4 across, 4 by 4. I don't know. I bring them closer like soon, and I make that room a little bit smaller, just to like fit them just enough. But then I make a little more space for like an instructor area, I guess you can call that. Even though, I mean, really, you don't need to really learn how to carve pumpkins. You just do whatever it is you want. Although I remember when I was a kid, I did learn how to carve pumpkins. Like someone in my family, like straight up was like, okay, this is how you do it. You take the stencil, attach the stencil like this with the pins, and then you like start dabbing at it with the little pokey thing until you cut out all the holes along the stencil. And then you can like start cutting into the pumpkin. But anyway, I was trying so hard to decide which windows to use. It was so hard. Because the thing with me, I love to use the same kinds of windows all throughout, like the same style. So I didn't want to go too far off from the windows that I used up in the front in the bathrooms. So I was just like, okay, these don't look right, but I kind of sort of have to go with them. So I ignored that for now and decided I would put some pictures and candy bowls up. And I was just like, I bounce around a lot, so that this is me. I'm a bouncy person. But anyway, I was just like, okay, no, I don't want to use these lights again. And I decided to put those behind there so that then I can turn that light red and make it look kind of spooky. Eventually, I replaced those pictures though with windows, so that hopefully the light shines through the windows and onto the roof piece right there, because this was the point. I was trying to put windows like all next throughout all the legs so that redness would shine onto it, but I don't think it worked exactly as I wanted, so I might go back and revise that. But anyway, I was trying to like decorate the front here with more pumpkins everywhere is how I felt. But this is the pumpkin carving room. There's seating area so you can watch if you don't really want to carve pumpkins. And I decided that I would just decorate the whole room. You'll see this soon. I'll decorate the whole room with pumpkin lanterns. Yeah, the entire thing with pumpkin lanterns. Eventually, it got like so bright that it no longer looked spooky. So I had to like turn down the dimness on those. That happens again in live mode because for some reason, wish so hard that they would implement that into build by mode, because it doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense to have that only in live mode. But anyway, there I go, adding back the windows. I feel like that's for sure the only side that I add windows to of the spider, like, on the back part. So then I was just like, okay, do I want to build the graveyard outside or inside? So I decided to build it inside, because I had this corner here. At first I wanted to put it like in front of the pumpkin carving room, like right, like swap the two, but that would have looked a little strange. So I was just like, okay, so I'm just gonna put this here. And I was just like, wait a second. I started putting like the floor tiles down. I was just like, hold on. This is I didn't know how to make the half tiles, so I had to go look that up, as you just saw. And I decided, I don't want people walking in there, so I fenced it off. And then I decided that it was looking a little too plain. Like, what are you gonna do? There's like this dirt and this grass inside, and you can see all of it. And like the dirt looks so awkward, because it's like these little paths from one set of tombstones to the other. So what was I gonna do? So I filled it up with so many different kinds of flowers. It looks a little bit silly. It was a little hard for me to. You may have just seen that, me trying to place flowers on the walls. But anyway, the flowers look a little bit silly, just because I was trying to get as many down as I could to cover up all the dirt, but it just frustrates me that there is not enough spooky stuff in the game. Yep, I said it. Not enough spooky stuff in the game to make a Halloween thing. So I did what I could with it. I just put whatever flowers I could, and I made the background this bluish ghost wallpaper. So it kind of sort of looks like there's sky, obviously, but like there's more ghosts floating throughout the sky than what you see there on the ground. Don't know if it gives that illusion, but I did put a window into there from the carving room, so you can look into there and maybe, get that, just the straight view of the graveyard without getting, too bothered by the rest of the club. Oh, excuse me, my throat's getting a little dry. But yeah, I noticed that there were some flowers clipping through. So it took me a little while to get the flowers, and I feel like I should have added more grass. Like, once I noticed that there was grass, I was just like, oh crap, I should have added more of that. But yeah, those ghosts in the graveyard were enough, so I got rid of the ghosts that I had added earlier. And then I went right to work. Yep, you know what I did. I added the dance floor. And so adding the dance floor, I was just like, it has to be orange and black. But the thing is, I was so eager to add it that I didn't like look at the other sizes of the dance floor. So that one's a bit big. It kind of stretches all the way to that first hallway. But I added more areas for you to put your jack-o'-lanterns. I figured that since there's 8 stalls to actually carve things, that I should make more slots. And if you like want more room there on the pedestals or whatever, you can delete the pre-carved, I don't know what they're called. They're like the in-game objects, the in-game object jack-o'-lanterns, because they're just placed there to kind of show what those pedestals are there for. And I feel like they're not really blocking the TVs, so that's good that they're so low. But it started to get a little too weird for me, so I decided to kind of split that with a half wall. Half walls are a blessing, let me tell you. Half walls are the best. Half walls are amazing. So yeah, just half walls. I love them. I am having an affair with half walls. That's how much I love them. So I decided, oh my gosh, this is when I finally realized that floor was just too much. And I don't know, to me, I wish like somehow, I don't know how, but I wish the floor squares would stay small. The big floor squares are okay, but like the thing is, okay, you have to, if you download this from the gallery, you have to resize the floor because it just gets so messed up. Like I wish there was a bigger floor. But it works as it is. It's just not exactly what I wanted. So I was trying to test all of these lights on the DJ booth. Like it was so dark in the back, like where the TVs are and the DJ booth. I was just like, okay, needs lights, but what kind of lights do I want to add? So I started adding these spotlights, and I was just like, okay, this works. It only shines in that area. But the thing is that once you add the black wallpaper, forget it. Everything turns super dark. I mean, you can still see like the DJ booth and the jack-o'-lanterns and everything else, but it's still really dark. So then I was just like, okay, What else does this nightclub need? And apparently it needs dining tables. I still can't understand that. I feel like it would only really need dining tables if it was a restaurant, right? Why can't they just sit at like the lounge? But no, apparently it needs dining tables. So I started off with each of them being a 2-seater, and I was just like, not enough. So then I added 2 more seats to each of them. And I'm still thrown about those bar stools that I chose. They're just, I don't know. I feel like they don't fit with the theme, but then again, none of them really seem to fit with the theme. So I just went with those, whatever. I'll probably change them out later. I don't know. But here I was looking for the juice bar, the juice cabinet that came with Get Together. And there you go. I found it. Hey, I found it. And I was so excited. Oh my gosh. It took me actually a while to find that thing. I was just like, I don't know under which category this is. So I kept looking and I found it. Always stick to what you're doing. Persevere through it and you will succeed. Don't hold me to that. Anyway, so I decided, like, because I'm going with this spider theme, I was just like, okay. So I have to throw on a few more webs, a few more spiders. And then I noticed something. I don't have that many windows. And so I started like, oh my God, panicking. Oh my God, where do I put the windows? Oh, the windows. So I just ignored that and just decided to move the chairs and tables around just a bit. But yeah, that was pretty much it for this part. I was just like, it was mostly trying to figure out what to do with this. Like, do I make it lighter? Do I make it look creepier? Is this fine, like, as it is dark? See, the thing is, I never really built something to this caliber. Like, probably the only big thing I built before this was a haunted house for last year's Halloween. Since, the spooky stuff pack came out last year, I was super excited. So I decided I would have to do something with it. And I built like this massive haunted mansion type thing. But the thing was that I didn't even use the mansion for anything. Nope. Instead, I built this little shack behind, like, in the backyard of the mansion. And I used that to sell pies. Yep. Sell pies and carved pumpkins, but then when you carve the pumpkins, they're not really worth that much. And I was trying to do like a rag storage type thing, so that was just like, it was not worth it. So I decided to just sell pies, and I made a lot of money from those pies and did not use the mansion for anything. So that mansion went to waste. So then I decided that I would make something bigger, something better, and so here we have this build. And I added just windows and curtains, and creepy curtains actually like clip through the floor. But you don't notice that when you're in live mode. At least not much. Then I added that there we go. I added the windows to where the paintings were before, since I was just like, okay, I have to put the paintings in the front. They look better in the front. And oh man, the floor. I was so conflicted with the floor because it's on a diagonal. And I love that blue so much because it looked like a painting, but I was just like, no. It has to be brown because the brown makes it look aged and creepy. And so I went with the brown, and I decided to close off this useless hallway. I don't know what else to call it. Like, this hallway was just bothering me so much. So I blocked off the hallway and added those walls. And I was trying to like fill it with something. Oh man, that hallway. So I couldn't fill it with the dance floor because the dance floor was too big, and it just seemed like too much to have a second dance floor. So I just left it. I left it just wide open. So, I can add whatever I want to it later. If I want to add like another bathroom right in the middle, I can add it, but that seems really weird. Or if they somehow come up with some new Halloween content, I could add it. I don't know. So there I just flipped it because I figured that by flipping it, the spider is facing towards you when you're in the map view. So like when you're like trying to select the venues, you can see the spider face instead of looking at the spider butt, because who wants to see spider booty? Let's be for real. If you're seeing spider booty like right in your face, it's too late for you. It's too late for you, and you better like burn your house down. So here, oh man, this part was just really annoying. So the candy bowl just seemed to be way too out in the open. So I was just like, okay, have to block it off with something, but I didn't want to put like actual walls there. So I was just like, okay, I'll use a room divider. No, the room dividers weren't really working. Like, the style is too modern. Like, I didn't make the nightclub modern-ish, and so the style of the dividers was just too modern. And then I added this chest. Yes, this chest. I decided that I would use a chest to make it seem like, the DJ is taking requests. So you can make your spooky request in the spooky orange and black chest, which was the one from last year's event, the trick or treat event. And then I was just like, oh, okay, this hallway needs more. Of course, I always go back to the hallway. It's like the hallway is a long lost lover that you just can't let go of. No, I just couldn't let go of it. So I went back and I added the carpet and I probably added the chandelier just then. I probably added it earlier. I wasn't paying attention to that part. So I was just like, okay, more cobwebs. So it's just really hard to see anything here. Like where the TVs are, it's so impossible to see anything. So I added those cobwebs in for kind of a spooky effect. Like once you're like you can't see it from far away, but once you're right in front of it, you can see it's like bam, like right in your face. I did add those lights there. Those lights hardly light up the area, and in live mode, I made them red. So with the red lights, you really can't see anything. So it's extra spooky, And so I was just like, okay, I need to do something about the stairs. So I added the railings, and I feel like there's not enough good railings in this game. I don't know, at least for me, because I am a modern builder. I build more modern houses in other modern buildings than anything else, and this old style of thing, not really my thing. But I love Halloween. Love Halloween, hence the 13 games of Halloween. So I had to do something, and I did this. But anyway, this decorating the outside was even more challenging than that weird hallway. So I was just like, okay, I need more pumpkins, and I wanted the plain pumpkin, but I didn't know how to get the show hidden objects cheat, which I just figured out here. And so I get the pumpkins and I start resizing them, just like, yes, this is going to be the biggest pumpkin in the world. So I add more to make it look like the spider is eating pumpkin. Don't know if spiders eat pumpkins, but why not, I mean, it's not like there are animal objects that we can add there to make it look like the spider is eating some kind of carcass. And so then I added webs to the back of the spider to make it look like the spider is pooping web. But, I don't know if that's a misconception or anything, but it looks, I don't feel like it's a misconception. I've seen spiders going down by their creepy little web, and it didn't look right. It just straight up looked like the spider was pooping the web. And so I decided that maybe I would try building it outside right next to the spider, but that really wasn't working out either. It looked too 3D, or I don't know, it didn't work. It looked weird just being next to the spider. So then I was just like, okay, let's move it to the back of the spider. Maybe that would work. But oh man, no. It still looked so weird. I tried to make it look so that the spider was coming from the web, but that didn't work out. It just looked like the spider was next to this odd 3D shape. Just no. So then I was just like, I have to use web somehow, because I wanted it to look like the spider was, the name of the build is Widow's Nest. So I wanted to make it look like the spider was in a nest. So I tried to make the spider webs look like it was coming out or around the spider, the webs that was looking around the spider. Yeah, it didn't work. So I was just like, okay, have to use trees. Trees will make this stand out in a way that I never thought possible. And I was right. But which kind of trees? Because, again, there's not enough spooky objects. So I just used a basic tree from, what is that called? The camping one, the camping pack. Holy crap, why can't I think of the name? It's the camping pack, one of the trees from the camping pack. So I was just like, okay, I'll add trees around. What do I do now? I was like, okay, I'll get the web, and then I'll stick the web up in the trees. The problem with this is, though, if you save this lot and then you place it, you save it to the gallery and then you place it down from the gallery, the webs do not save as they are, as I place them. So you have to lift them up again, and you have to lift up the other thing that I put in the trees again, which you'll see soon. So I put I was putting all the webs in the trees, trying to make it seen without it being poking out too much, because there's the rough end of the web, which is is just straight and it sticks out like a sore thumb. And it was such a challenge to get the webs in the way that I wanted it to, but I feel like I did as good of a job as I could. Which is why I feel so bad that it doesn't come out that way when you download it from the gallery, because I tested this, downloading it to a different game of mine, a different save file, and I was so disappointed. But anyway, I finished it up here, and then I was just like, okay, so these trees need a little bit of light because it's going to be night. Like when it's night, it's going to be dark around the trees. And it's just like, I tried to place lights around it. Didn't really work because the lights just light up the base of the tree. And so I decided that I would shove that tree light thing from one of the packs. I can't remember which pack because I feel like it's one of the ones that I got last. So probably the backyard stuff pack. So I decided I would shove those trees with lanterns up in the trees. And oh, wow, look how bright they made the trees. It makes the trees stand out above the spider because the spider is supposed to be dark. That's the point. The spider is supposed to be dark and eerie and like you can't exactly see it as much as you can see everything else around it. And so I feel like I actually succeeded in that. That's something I'm really proud of. So I decided that to make it look, I don't know, more homey for the spider, more lived in spidery area, I would add these paths and this dirt here and there. And so I added the paths for people to walk around, even though, they don't use paths. So it's a little upsetting. So I decided that I would just paint the paths, which let me tell you, I have the shakiest hand ever. So I was not wanting to do this part at all because I would just shake all around and make the path so uneven. But I realized that's the beauty of it. That's what I wanted to do. Because if you're like, okay, think creepy. Do you really think like straight narrow paths? No, you think like these shaky, rough, not quite even paths. And so that's what I ended up doing. And then I filled in the dirt around the trees because, trees don't just spread up in the ground without dirt. For the spider's legs, it was the trickiest part for me, actually, because I didn't know if I wanted to make it look like the spider was walking around or if the spider was just like grounded, like standing there. But I decided that I would make it look like the spider was walking around and not just like a regular spider. No, like a massive spider. So when it would walk, it would like drag its legs, step in its own steps again, and it just ended up looking pretty good to me, at least to me. I don't do this much landscaping usually. I usually skip the landscaping, actually. I love the building aspect without the landscaping. Landscaping's new to me. So then the new problem was that the path was dark. The path was dark. That sounds like the beginning of a horror story. The path was dark, and then they heard rustling leaves, crunching twigs, and then they all died. So yeah, I just added all of these lights along the path. I'm such a perfectionist that I had to do exactly 9 squares from each of them. So here I was just like adding them, and I realized that my path is so not straight that I had to bring the lights out like in a curve, like a slanted thing. But yeah, anyway, we that's the build there. We then take a look at the screenshots here. So this is just a look of the outside of the whole nightclub, so you can see the creepy spider. You can kind of see the webs in the trees. So it looks actually pretty cool. I like that view. Although I wish I would have taken it when it was a little darker during the night, but this was like, I decided to use the family that I use in the Let's Play, and it was already morning for them. Well, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So yeah, it was a little too bright. So it looks a little not as creepy as it should be. And then here we have the view of the spider right up close as you're walking into its mouth as it devours you. And you can see the little creepy red eyes. I probably should have made those a little bigger to make it look a little more creepy. But for me, it's creepy enough, so I accept. And then we have part of the lounge. You can still see like outside through the window, not as creepy unless it's nighttime. But yeah, you can see the spider on the wall and the painting, which... well, it's a picture, not really a painting. It changes as you just stand there staring at it. So that's going to be a nice creepy touch to the lounge that I didn't really make. I don't know. It looks more romantic and relaxing than creepy. And then here's the massive hallway that I have a love-hate relationship with. You can see the bathrooms on either side, and those creepy spidery eyes glaring at you. And this is inside one of the bathrooms. It looks so dark. It still looked like, if there's poop on the toilet seat, you're gonna still sit on it and be really upset. Your whole night ruined. Just forget clubbing. Just go back home and get changed. Take a shower and get changed, and maybe burn your body because you just got some stranger's poop on you. And so we take a look here now. It's the creepy spider. Don't know why I decided to focus on the creepy spider, but this is our little nook here. I didn't make it as even as I would like. It's like off center and everything like that. So it gives the look and feel of something that's not quite right. Because for people, trust me, for people, things that aren't symmetrical is scary. So that works for them. So this is the view of the dance floor, which I don't know. I like it, but it's not my favorite part. But as you can see, there's a tree clipping through, which I did fix before I posted the build to the gallery. So I did fix that, even though it's clipping there. And you can see the cauldron's lighting up. I did add lights to it, which can be adjusted to change the the lights above it, which can be adjusted to change the color of the lights that's around it. And there you can see my creepy skeleton friend over there on the right. And that's looks like a pretty good bar area, although the bar looks red right now, but maybe it doesn't look like that red in live mode. We'll see. And here we have the pumpkin carving room, which I am actually pretty happy with, because it's supposed to look kind of fun and lively and joyous and still festive. But it's for pumpkin carving. Like, there's not much you're gonna do there except carve pumpkins and talk to other people. That's basically all this room is supposed to be for anyway. And here we have our spooky graveyard with all the ghosts of your dead ancestors staring at you, and some of them apparently laughing at you. Yes. And those windows in the background, I mean, they can be deleted. I'm probably going to delete them because they kind of take away from the feel of it. Unless, I guess, during nighttime it's not going to be as bad. But it can be taken away. And here we have our area where we plop our carved pumpkins, which I'm really excited for. I'm really excited to fill it up. I know it's going to get lit up a little more, which means I might be able to remove the little saucer lights on the ground there. But I really hope it lights everything up well. I know the light from the jack-o'-lantern isn't that much, but I hope it's enough. And back there above the TVs is a creepy red light that I added so you can kind of sort of see the webbing, but not that much. And then here we have a closer look at the bar area. Yep, this is right after I removed the tree that was clipping in. And clearly it looks like an actual really nice dining area. I'm not mad at it. For some reason, I'm starting to think that the juice rack in the back kind of meshed in with the bar, because it looks like the gradient kind of works there. Like, it goes from the yellow to the orange at the bar, and then to the red. From the rack, the yellow to the orange at the rack to the red in the bar. So it looks like it works actually pretty well. Maybe I'll keep it that way. And finally, we have our skeleton friend. But yes, anyway, that is it for this day 8 of 13 games of Halloween. This actually continues tomorrow with our Sims LP, as we will be hosting a spooky Halloween party. But anyway, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. I will continue trying to do some more Sims build, and every day I have a Sims episode, so please watch that LP because you'll love it. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome and evil night. Wahahaha!